I can't come back, so I just need to find my zone. I just need to find my own. I just need to find my throne. I just need to find my home. I've been waiting too long. 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 I can't look past it. Nothing at all. Nothing to mask it, but it feels so drastic. But I cannot panic, so I get my chance to grow and hit that fucking road. I've been waiting too long. 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 Can't tell it all. If I need to run back and I can't speak at all. If I can't come back, so
Hello and welcome to our first ever stream on this new YouTube channel called Viz Academy UK. So quickly I'll introduce myself. I'm Mike and I'm going to be the main voice for this channel. So I hope that you like it. And also I would like to quickly put in a few words about our school. So we're Viz Academy. And you probably seen our posts on Facebook or other social media like Instagram. So, you probably know us, that's why you're here. So let's just jump into our schedule. So today we're going to show you a few methods how to model out some basic but still very impressive quick methods how to model out some parametric facades, and it's going to be exciting and I hope that you learn a lot. We're going to go briefly through those techniques. You'll be able to follow up on the methods I'm going to show you if you have some basic 3D knowledge. So here I'm showing you now our Instagram page, quick information for you. Each image shown here is basically done by our students. So on our course, we teach people how to actually create this kind of visualizations in just a few short weeks. You too will be able to create images like those. And as you can see, those are professional works that are pretty neat, I guess. We're really proud of our students. So let's just move back to our schedule. And before we start, I should probably ask you guys, can you hear me well? I mean, can you actually hear me? Oh, hi. I can see the chat now. So hi guys. Okay, so moving on, this is our Mine web page, and oh no, this is our Mine web page. Also, I recommend you to visit it when you have some free time. And now, continuing talking about what exactly are we going to do today. So I'm going to show you how to approach this kind of images like so. And as you can see, those are pretty basic, but still impressive elevations that if you would like to create in programs like SketchUp or AutoCAD, it would probably take you a while. And today we're going to try to flex on those that use SketchUp and think that it's the most, let's say, efficient program to use in 3D. So still, this is going to be our main course. We're going to approach this kind of folding elevation. We're just going to quickly show you the methods and also a few extra warm-up modeling. So I'm quickly going to jump to 3ds Max. Earlier on, I prepared some scenes, so please don't mind that. Anyway, if you would like to approach a scene like this, you would probably have a little bit of problem in SketchUp, because when working in SketchUp, you probably need to add all those dimensions, and when it comes to 3D visualizations, we can have a little bit of flexibility. We don't need to care about the centimeters, we aim for the meters. So quickly, to show you how to approach this kind of building, I'm going to move ahead to the perspective view and change the view to clay, display mode. Okay, so now changing this object into editable poly, going to connect those like 5 times. Here I'm going to connect those 6 times, and using the inset, I'm going to quickly show you how to create those holes for the balconies. And also we're going to use the leftovers of this of those elements. So as you can see, if you would do it in any other software, it would probably take you a while. So as you can see, it's going pretty smoothly. Now I'm copying those elements and moving those to create balconies themselves. Scaling down. Now moving those elements down again to reach the bottom, and to actually make use of those, I'm going to rotate them by 90 degrees. Tell me guys, in the meanwhile, why I model this thing out, could you tell me where you're from, or what brought you here? That'll be even better question. I mean, are you 3D enthusiasts or architects, students? Please write it down in chat so we can see who are we hosting today. Okay. Oh no, I wasn't showing the screen. I'm so sorry for this. Let me start over. Okay, as I said, this is one of those moments that could be unexpected when going live. Okay, so pretty embarrassing. I'm going to start over. So as I said, the chat should be actually up all the time, because you were trying to tell me it all the time. Okay, sorry for that. Let's do it again. I'm going to divide this object by creating some extra segments on the width. We're going to have 5 elements, so we're going to need 5 segments. Now 6 height segments, and we're going to convert this object into editable poly. So again, I'm going to select the front of this object, use the inset tool, change it to polygon, and again apply it and extrude. Okay, so we got somebody from Argentina. Hi. So again, as I said, this element is going to be called a leftover. We're going just to copy it by holding shift, moving this elements to scale them down. And now we are going to use them as our balconies. So this is going to be the border of the balcony. Again, I'm going to copy those objects. So to avoid over selecting the objects, I prefer to copy those, so we can quickly create the floor plane for this object. Okay, let's go to the left view, change it to vertex, and again, by using snap tool, we're going to quickly align those as a floor. Okay, now don't worry, you can see you now, thanks. Okay, so I'm going to detach this floor because your client may think that you should probably create a few versions of the floor or any type of element. So since we're not going to add any kind of material in this webinar, we're going to quickly just show you fastest way to populate this kind of balcony. So, you know, for the quick sketches that you create on a daily basis, we prepared some models that you can download from the internet, from pages like 3D Sky or any other. So as you can see, those are pretty neat balcony type of plans. So I'm just going to scale those down because we're just trying to show you this type of elevation and how to quickly approach it. So scaling it down again, it suits my needs. So now I'm going to hide our object, and this is where the magic happens. So we're going to use the Corona renderer mostly in our class. We're going in depth about each aspect of this program, so I hope that you're familiar with this software, and if not, we're going to teach you from zero, because let's say approximately 90% of our students actually start from zero knowledge both of 3ds Max and Corona renderer, and those are our main tools that we use. By pressing X, you can open this dialog. I mistyped. Okay, so by pressing X at any time in the viewport, you open this dialog where you can search for your actions. So if you know the name of object that you want to create, you can quickly type in the name instead of looking for it in the menus. So I'm going to open the transform tools. This is a very handy tool that I use on a daily basis. It allows you to quickly reset your objects, and I don't know why that happened like this. Anyway, okay. And also align the pivot to the bottom of your object, which is necessary in this case. So we're just going to press insert to apply the position of our pivot. And now we're adding those objects into scatter as our instanced objects to quickly populate this terrain. Okay, I'm going to scale down here to, let's say, 5%. Okay, 3%. Yeah, we're going to add randomness to this, and we need approximately 150 or 50 of those objects. And now I'm going to open the full preview of those. And as you can see, we quickly populated our balconies. Okay, I'm going to increase the scale a bit to quickly look at those. And as you can see, those are a little bit interlacing. So we can quickly grab the floor object and again scale it down. So hide this object. Quickly. Now moving again. Okay, we've got it covered now. So now no object is intersecting, and okay, so as you can see, this was a quick way to populate this. We can also copy the windows into it, but we're not going to cover it because we know that all of you are here to actually see how to approach this kind of objects here and this elevation. So I'm going to move forward and quickly show you the benefits of using the morph tool, I mean modifier. So as you can see here, we created a few objects that work with one another. So okay, this type of object is called attractor, because it's attractive to some vertices. And as you can see, as I move this object, the mesh changes. Also, if I scale this object down or up, it's going to change the way the area it affects. So as you can see, you can create many interesting pavements like this. So okay, now how to actually approach this? So it's quite easy, and since there are videos like this over the internet, we added a few twists to it so you can actually use it in your 3D visualizations instead of just seeing a video that you cannot actually use ever. So okay, now let's clear this up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to copy this element here, and I'm going to delete my attractors so you can see each step that we actually take to approach this object. So I'm going to place this simple box 25 by 25 in this place, and I'm going to copy it like a gazillion of times. So I guess 50 is enough. Okay, 50 was too much. Now I'm going to move to the top view, and again I'm going to copy it a little bit less this time, and let's go with 40. So as you can see, it actually worked this time. So by pressing Ctrl Q, you can select the similar objects in 3ds Max. That's a neat information, I guess. So now we've got only our boxes selected. To save resources, I'm going to hide all those other objects, and by pressing hide unselected. Now I'm going to quickly move this object into our editable poly. Okay, and attach, and quickly align those, attach those objects to create one big mesh. Now I'm going to add morph modifier, and I'm going to save this state as our starting point in channel parameters. So capture this, we're going to capture the state of this object as it looks like now. So capture current state, and I'm going to name it state 01. And remember, it's very important at each scene to actually name your objects properly and to have your scene tidy and clean. Use as many tools that will help you to sort out your scene as possible, because if you don't, it's going to affect your workflow, because I'm pretty sure that you named your files, SDF, DFD 115, and 2 weeks later you didn't know what to do now because you cannot find the file you were looking for. So this is going to be our state number 2, and this is a state 02. Okay, and now we're planning to add our modifier, which is vertex selection. Oh no, it's volume select, sorry. Again, we're going to change it to vertex, and here we're going to add mesh object. And what is important for you to remember is that each object that you add as a tractor is actually going to affect your object accordingly to number of the vertices that it has. So remember to actually don't go crazy with your segments, and lower them to some reasonable values. We're going to add it as mesh now. Okay, great. And since we want this object to actually do something, we need to use the falloff, and I'm going to set it to, let's say, 50 or 80. So, okay, now, how to actually make it work? We're going to move this modifier here, and we're going to increase this number to 100 in the state 1. So when I move this object here, it's going to affect all those objects. So it's pretty neat, I guess. And at this point, we're going to go to preferences and turn off the renderability for this object. Okay, and also I'm going to display this as box because I don't want it to obstruct your view. But as you can see, it works. We need to inverse this selection, and for this we have volume select, and you just go to invert, and this way now we actually create the holes, not those pavements. So I hope that this is still that you're able to follow. I mean that you understand what I'm creating. Is everything all right? I mean, can you see the screen now? And can you hear me? Please write a plus or some other a symbol so I can see it. So if you want to use this technique, it's going to have some downsides. Oh, thank you, so many pluses. So if you're going to use this technique, it's going to have some downsides. It's going to only affect one object or one mesh. So if you want to create another attractor, you basically need to go to edit poly or any edit mode and attach your object. So as you can see, it still works pretty neat, but if you want to avoid this, you can also go with Corona scatter method that we are going to show you a little bit more info about during our class. Also, it's pretty neat way using the distance map. I'm actually going to cover it briefly now because the premises of this, the idea is pretty much the same. So you need to add this plane as a distribution object. You add this plane as the object is going to actually have those scattered objects like this brick here displayed on it. So those are instanced objects. And by using Corona distance with these settings here, black, white, black, and colored inside turned on, we're going to actually be able to quickly move it, and this time we're able to actually add next objects into this stock. Corona Scatter is a really good tool for this type of work, but it has some downsides again. No, it should be here, sorry. Okay, sorry. You can add it in distance map. It's just a magic of streams. You make so many mistakes that you can barely talk, but still it's going to be fun because this method is going to be posted on YouTube in just a few days. We're going to create a short video about this. There's a downside to scatter method because you cannot add animation into it or any kind of real mesh displacement. So if we want to move to this type of scenario like here, we're going to have a little bit more difficulties by going with Corona Scatter. So now, as you can see, we've got this beautiful elevation that we are going to create from scratch using the method with Morph I shown you, and we're going to make it actually work in 300 degrees like here. So we're going to create this tower, and you also will be able to use this method later for your own designs because this is 100% editable, so you can just add your own modifiers. If you want to change it, you just want to bend it or shape it to your likings. So now let's jump back to our welcome screen, and guys, please could you ask a few questions, Tops, because I've seen that we have a few questions. Okay. Yeah, I told you that we're going to have a Q&A during this stream, and I guess I should answer those questions at this point. We had a few questions about VR and AR. Those were pretty interesting, and you asked if we see any future in this type of fields, and to be honest, I must say that yes, but the technology is still not there because it's pretty bulky and hard to use, and it takes a lot of resources, but still it's amazing technology that will be standard in a few years time. So if I were you, I would probably be on hold for those. Okay, so let's reset the scene, or let's just go to our previous scene and reset it. Okay, I'm going to quickly show you how to use the technique with Morph to actually I'm going to quickly show you the technique with Morph to quickly I want to learn to use program. Do they give courses? Yes, please visit our main page. It's 3dvizacademy.com. Okay, so again, resetting 3ds Max, and we're starting from scratch. So to do it the fastest way, I'm going to create an n-gon from the creation panel, and I'm going to pick the n-gon. So by default, it has 6 sides, and at this point, you can see that it's pretty basic shape. So we're going to change it to editable poly. And remember when I told you about this small twist that we're adding into this stream? We're going to actually make this technique usable, and when your teacher or client is going to demand you to actually deliver the product when you're going to add a lot of changes because he still hasn't decided what he actually wants. So by using this technique, you can go back and forth and change all the elements when working with this type of objects. So Now, what is important before you move forward, I would like you to select these edges here, and also make sure that you've got your vertices selected like so. Because we're going to change a lot of objects in the same time, we're going to need to have those selection options. So remember that you shouldn't deselect those before you copy this object. And right now I'm going to copy this object like so. By holding Shift, I'm going to copy it, or I'm going to copy it like this. And now let's just go with, I don't know, 25. That sounds good. Okay, again, I'm going to enlarge the screen and go to the display mode so you can better see what we're working on. Okay, now we're going to copy this object again. Now we're going to create this pattern, this hexagon or honeycomb pattern, if you will. Delete this guy here, and again, I can see that the color is a little bit dark, so I'm going to pick some brighter color for you guys. Okay, and again, we're going to copy this like, let's say 8 or 9 times. Yeah, 10 is enough. So when we have this object now, we're going to actually attach all of those, so we have this large portion of our handguns in just one object, one mesh, with a lot of elements. So it should work like this. And since we didn't deselect our vertices, and we didn't deselect our edges, we're going to be able to quickly work on those and create the effect that we're looking for. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly drag those down to create some extra extra detail. And now I'm going to move to elements. Now clear all smoothing groups. We don't need those at this moment. And again, I'm going to add our favorite modifier, which is morpher. And now this is going to be our basic state for our object. So we're going to capture this state and name it the state 1. Okay. State 01. And now I'm going back to editable poly, and by selecting edges, pressing 2, I'm going to scale those down, and as you can see, we actually have those shutters closed. Yeah, they shrank. Again, since we don't want them to change their actual shape, and we're going to use them later, we're still going to drag them those vertices a little bit down so they look more believable. And now we've got this beautiful hexagon or triangle pattern done. We're going to move to morpher again and save this in as a state 2. Okay, thank you for this link. We're going to capture this as state 2. And again, we're adding the volume select modifier, vertex. Now we're going to add the mesh object, and again something really simple, so I'm going to go with a box. And as you can see, now we just need to select our object as our attractor. So use soft selection. Again, let's make it 150. I guess the box is a good shape here. And now let's see if it works at this point. No, it won't work because I need to move this modifier a little bit down. Okay, and again, why? Oh yes, I need to add 100 in the state. Okay, here we can see that by moving this object, our shutters close. So we just need to invert this again by going to volume select. And this is pretty much this technique, but if you would like to put it on as your elevation, or you want to cover your roof with it, whatever, we're going to show you how. So first of all, we're going to create a reference of this object. And from this point now on, when we're working on this object, it won't affect above this modifier stack. If we add anything, let's say editable poly, if we add anything, it's not going to affect the original object. So it's going to be pretty useful for us if you want to actually work with some kind of architectural objects. And to create the kind of tube that we had earlier, we're going to use bend modifier. And since this object was erected in this way, I'm going to use the x-axis, and we need approximately 160 degrees to close it, but there's still going to be a small gap that we can eyeball, and let's just add 6 degrees because this should be enough. And right now, if we move our attractor, we're going to see this beautiful effect here. As you can see, it works pretty neat. So if you want to have your object, if you want your object to be in a little bit fancier shape, you just need to edit it out, or you can pick any object as you like. So tell me, guys, do you have any experience in 3ds Max, or if you have any prior knowledge about 3D rendering, or basically tell me what brought you here. So I'm just going to create another screen now. Quickly select these and go to perspective mode, select our view, and as you can see, we already have this neat effect where we can just copy our mesh again, and if you want, you can simply go ahead and pretty much render it out at this point as a quick sketch. So we're not going to cover many details in this video, but we cover a lot of those during our class, and if you want to sign up, we already posted those links. And here the most important thing is that when you take away the attractor or just turn off the morpher, it's going to revert your object into the previous state. So to avoid that, we're just going to move away the attractor. And at this point, you can add any kind of detail in editable poly as you like. So you can split all of those, and you can, let's say, add extra detail like insert. Okay, that's a pretty large mesh. Wait a second. And I believe I may, okay. Now, again, so yeah, I was trying to read your question, your answers, and yeah, I see our support is bravely answering all of those. So right now I'm trying to move along, but the mesh is trying to actually trick me. And let's just add 10 and apply this. So you can see that you can edit out this those elements. Okay, 10 was too much. Okay, I'm not going to stress out on this element. It's irrelevant at this point. If we would use some proper scale that I didn't, you would probably get the proper effect by adding those proper values. And again, right now we're going to quickly jump into our Q&As again. So if you got any questions, you can shoot away in the chat. Please do, because it's all, this stream is all for you. This is a free stream, part of a series that we're going to create. There's an option to actually get into some exclusive options that we can discuss with you if you're willing to actually receive this kind of information. And I'm now going to again flex on those that use SketchUp, because from my experience and what I've encountered during my work, I've noticed that creating this kind of objects in SketchUp is really annoying, because you cannot really create any curvature without extra plugins that may cost you a fortune. So 3ds Max has you covered, because it actually has tools specially designed for this kind of work. And we're going to quickly put this object on the 0 axis in the X, and change the pivot point to 0, which is here. And now I'm going to use Tools, Array, and I'm going to preview what I'm actually doing when I'm creating those copies. So let's just go ahead and rotate this by a few degrees. And let's just go crazy with all those objects. So I'm pretty satisfied with the amount of objects I created. How much is the online course? Well, right now we've got some special offer for you guys. So if you leave us your email, we can send you all the details. This video is going to YouTube, so many things may change in the future, but right now, please send us your email or contact our support on Instagram, Facebook, or just write to us directly. Okay, so when you have this object, you can go ahead and add a 4x4 FFD 4x4x4 modifier. So when selecting the vertices here, we're going to be able to manipulate this object and create this smooth curvature that cannot be achieved in SketchUp or any program that is used by architects overall, like ArchiCAD. So right now it took me like, I don't know, 3 minutes to create this thing. Again, I'm going to quickly jump to our welcoming screen, and guys, right now I would like to add a few informations about our school. So again, visit us on 3visacademy.com/English, so you can get more details. And as I stated before, all the images that we post are images created by our students. All the techniques and many more are covered in our course. So if you want some more information, please contact our support or leave your email to us, contact details I mean. And at any point, we've got 24-hour support. We will help you at any time of the day or night. We split our course into 3 main elements. So when you're part of our when you're our student, we always are on the lookout for any questions that you may have, because you know you work in your own time, and you probably should be able to sit at the work that you want to do in 3ds Max at your own time, and you're probably student or you're working, and we're not going to we want to be able to help you at any time. So if you're going to work at 3 a.m., we're going to be there for you with all the answers that you may need. All these works that you can see now on the screen are were created by our students, and all those posts were actually posted by us, of course, but those images are created by our students, and we're really proud of those guys. So going back to the main information about our class, guys, we need to actually tell you that we have our own instructional tutorials or lessons, instruction videos that we send to you that you can use at any time for you can keep those and also use them for educational purposes. So that's the base. Also, we've got webinars more complex than this 3 times a week. And also, in my opinion, that's the most important thing, is that we can support you 24 hours. And nobody else is does this, and it's in my opinion that's the strongest part, because we've got a team of experienced people in Viz Academy. Our founders both are award-winning people with many accomplishments, and as you can see, we've teamed up to show you all the details that you may need. Our team consists of 3 visualization specialists, architects, and also our support is also experienced in all those details. We work with you, we treat you like, we're not going to be too stiff during the course, so we want to have friendly atmosphere. And if you have any extra questions, please shoot now. We're going to move to some real Q&As, and we're going to probably stay here and answer your questions for another few minutes. I think that'll be it. If you have any extra questions, please shoot away. We should be able to answer all of those in just a few seconds. So during the time you actually type in your questions, I can go ahead and actually do this scatter method from scratch. So it's not like those situations when somebody tells you to create something from scratch. He shows you some basic steps and then and add all the rest of the details. Is this also for people with no knowledge? Exactly. 90% of our students started with zero knowledge of 3ds Max or Corona Renderer. Usually they don't really know that this program exists. So we basically show you each step how to become professional grade 3D ARC visualization specialist. Okay, that was too much. Too many words, I mean. So basically, if you don't have any knowledge, we're going to be able to help you at each step. So is this software free to use? 3ds Max is not free to use, but Autodesk has some extra offers for students. It's allowing them to use it in non-commercial way for free. You should probably visit their site to get more information. Also, Corona Renderer is a really great engine that is really cheap, is, if I may say it, according to my experience, it's beneficial to actually buy it and use it, because it's one of the best engines, 3D rendering engines on the market. So I strongly recommend it for all of you. How to sign up to the course? Please leave your email to us or send us some information on this email provided to you. We're going to give you all the information about the pricing, about how do we work, how much information you're going to receive from us, and also how are we approaching all of those elements of 3D design. As I stated, our teams consists of architects, so you can shoot away and ask any questions about the architecture. We may help you how to create your portfolio, also how to prepare for your exams, all this sort of things that may be helpful for you. So I strongly recommend you sign up to us, and right now we're going to add this object to Corona Scatter, which I created earlier on, like 3 seconds ago, I mean. So we're going to add this brick box 1 as our instanced object, and at this moment you can see that it's already scattered on our object. Okay, I overdid it. Again, always right click on your viewport to turn off this small plus. Okay, to avoid adding extra objects. Now I'm going to move this Corona distance map to our scale. So it works like this. If you have this object that is near your object that you've selected in distance from, your objects are going to basically run away from this object. So you can use this technique to make your grass grow, or hide some elements, or avoid your home. If you're going to create, let's say, a lawn, you can use this technique to scatter some grass, and also you can distance this from this box, so you can see the grass is not growing around the house. So it's going to be pretty neat, especially when you're going to have some back and forth with your client, and he wants to change the position of the house or move it a little bit to the left because he likes this tree on the right, whatever. It's going to allow you for a lot of flexibility, and it's going to help you create your design as efficient as possible. Okay, thank you for this message on Facebook. We're going to take care of it in just a few minutes. Guys, I guess that'll be it for today. I hope that you liked our stream. The next stream that we're going to post, we're going to create a beautiful bathroom that we're going to show you how to create this type of bathroom that were posted in our Facebook event on Facebook event that you can see in our feed. And sorry for that. And again, please visit our page. Both Facebook, Instagram are always welcoming to you. Also, I've got this extra, let's say, a gift for you if you were able to stay with us for so long. If you will invite 20 people to our next stream, you'll get all those scenes that I've created, so you can just look into it and have a look how was it done, and you can just play with it as much as you want. So this is going to be this let's say reward for inviting people. Also, you'll get some basic tutorials of 3ds Max those are starting videos. But if you invite approximately 40 people, we're going to award you with some extra videos that we've we marked as more intermediate or about 3D modeling, and it's going to cover topics like this, and also many important aspects, how to actually approach it, what techniques used at what time, and it's still going to be the basic, but intermediate, but still it's going to be very beneficial, so we're going to send it for free. What we ask is just a proof, a screenshot, or let's say just a quick memo. Anyway, thank you for joining in, and I hope that you've liked our stream, and this is going to be part of series, so till the next time, right? Thank you very much, and have a good evening.